Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Thursday. It's May 28th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And first thing I want to talk about, yesterday we had some audio issues, some bleeps and stuff, and I guess it was probably is about as bad as it's ever been. And unfortunately, these videos are time consuming, so even if I'd have caught it before I uploaded it, I still wouldn't have redone it. So I'm trying to figure it out. I did a little test earlier on this one before I went through the whole video. For the most part, the beeping was gone. Every once in a while, you would hear a little blip, but it wasn't like it was yesterday. It didn't keep you from understanding the video, and it wasn't as distracting. I apologize. I'm going to keep working on it and see if I can figure out what it is. It's not my software. I'm using the same software I've always used. Nothing's changed on my computer. I thought maybe it was my battery, but obviously there's something. I'm using some wireless headphones, and I believe there's just something here that's interfering with those wireless headphones all of a sudden. I don't know what it is. Um, I'm going to keep working on it, but hopefully hopefully it's better now. I did a few things. I charged, put a new battery in it, and some other things, but I still heard the blip a couple of times. Again, it wasn't like it was yesterday. So, but anyway, I apologize, and if it happens, the best thing I can tell you is just turn the volume down and watch the video anyway, and look at the trades because they're all still valid. You just don't get as much of the explanations because even if I catch it, I don't have time to do the video a second time. It's just too time consuming, and it takes a lot of my time, and it takes a lot of work to do these videos every day, to be honest with you. So they're just, I just don't have time right now to go back and redo them if we do have any kind of issues with them after I create them. So as long as you can see the trades and they're viewable, I'm going to still upload them. But hopefully we won't have any more problems. We'll just have to wait and see. So, but today was a range day. You can see early on I was looking at this possible two-tiered channel working down. And it could be that we just had the channel here and you had the break and a couple legs to a new low. But really, regardless, you still come out with, in the end, you're better off just playing the range almost. So, um, and early on, you definitely should have been playing this as a range. There's some shorter term trend lines and so forth. But, if you measure this first one and you measure down, we pretty much got to measure. Maybe we went a few ticks lower. But this pretty much held, and maybe it is a tick lower here and a tick lower up high, because that would, it's probably going to be more like that right there, because that gives you more touches across the top, and it fits better in the middle. Actually, I forgot to move this one down one more. You can see that's pretty much it. And, close is close enough. It doesn't have to be exact, so it doesn't matter anyway. You just have to be close. But it's a perfect two-tiered trading range that we had here. And that's how I played it for most of the day, to be honest with you. So pretty straightforward kind of day. I kind of like these. I know we had a couple of good days of trends, but I kind of like these range days because they're so predictable. They really are predictable. And this one was very predictable until here, and then we kind of broke higher. But then you should know we're probably headed up to here. And there's actually a trade here I missed. This breakout pullback long, I missed that one. So we'll start. But let's hope that we don't have any more audio problems. I hope today comes out okay. If not, I apologize. I'll keep working on it. But I need to get this done today. I need to get out of here. I've got somewhere I got to be in the next 30 minutes. So let's talk about the trades. First trade I saw was a long here. This was an obvious trading range look. It was more of a downward bias, but you got one leg down, a little correction in the middle of two legs, and then another leg down, and it made a double bottom. You don't want to go long yet here, too early, but once it tried to go lower here and failed and turned up and gave you that second entry. I liked going long right there. It's not a great signal bar, but I still liked it because it looks like a double bottom. There's actually another, I don't have it on here, but there's actually a little channel working down right there, and you get the break and move to a new low, and then you get the little trap there. So I like going long there, and then you get the failed second entry short there. Notice that this is a double bottom, so you can treat that like a new low. Pull back first entry, pull back second entry. So you can also treat this as a failed second entry short and this one, because you can count them both. This double bottom is either a new low, or you can count this as the low. It works both. It kind of swings both ways, so to speak. It was really tempting to enter here, and I really think it was okay to enter here. I didn't mark it because I would have been in here, but you could have added on here, and if you missed the first one, you could jump in there. The only thing I was a little bit hesitant about was because it was right back into these highs. But at this point, you would probably be thinking of this as the highs up here, and so I'm okay entering there. Um, would have been a good trade. It works out, and then you make this double top up here. You definitely, I wouldn't go long there. I would have waited on a better entry, and you never get a second entry or whatever here. You just kind of get hung up, and you find all those matching highs, and then it turns down. Notice this new low right here. You pull back, you get that first entry off that double top, but I would wait, and then you get the second entry right there. And where do you think prices are probably headed? Back down here. But this is one of those trades where it just turns out to be a great trade. Any runners would have been safe here, and you can ride this thing all the way to the bottom. And I probably would have exited right here when it broke out of this little, you can see the little short-term trend line channel or trend channel. When it broke out right there, that's when I probably would have exited. And then you got a channel working up, a break, move to a new high. I didn't like going long here because that's a huge move. So there's a good chance we push lower again. Um, if we did go higher, I was expecting prices maybe to come back and test this. But when you got that little break higher, this is basically a double top right here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. You basically have a double top here, and you broke higher and failed and turned down, and that's a second entry short. Notice that new low, pull back first entry, pull back. It's not a great signal bar. It's a double test of what was support, now is resistance. There's several reasons to like that trade, but I think you're better to wait on a second entry. If you entered there, it worked. It meets the rules, but I like to wait on a second entry, and you got that here. And look at that big bearish bar. Just go short there. And I really was thinking there was a good chance you might get another measured leg like that, but it didn't happen. It did turn out to be a kind of a trading range. So when you measured move, when it bounced here, notice that you got a close outside here. It's not a very convincing one, and a new low and a bounce, but this was because of the trading range. There's actually some traps in here and a reason to think going long, but I tell you why I didn't mark it, because I was worried about this two-tiered channel, and you don't have a lot of room there, and you can see it held. So when I got a setup off that trend line, I liked going short there. Again, it just good for a scalp, wasn't good for anything more. And if you look here, I don't have it drawn, but you should draw these things. There's a shorter term trend channel working up there. And you got the close outside, moved to a new high, and then it sold off. So just what you'd kind of expect. But it doesn't go very far, and it reverses. I don't think you want to go long there. There's no reason to go long there at all. There's that little gap over my line again. You see that quite often. We've talked about it before. Nothing that you can do anything with, but when you see that, you usually know that your trend lines are probably right. And then we sell off. We're just pulling back to the EMA. So I was really thinking possibility of another long here, but instead you get this big bearish sell-off bar, and just go short right there. And where do you think you're probably headed? Back down to the lows, another measured move down. And you get a little trap here. You don't want to go long on that first entry, but when you break lower and fail and turn back up, you're probably headed to the upper side now. And that could mean all the way up here. So these are usually good setups. but instead it finds resistance right there. Again, it's not a great setup bar. It is a second entry short, so um, I circled it in green because it's just not a great setup. And then you move down, uh, come back first entry, pull back second entry, but it's also a double top. Look at that big bearish bar. Just go short there. You might try to use a limit order or whatever, but I'd just go short there. And I really thought we'd work back down again. But notice what happens. It doesn't, and then it makes a little trap. And this is why you usually want to stay out of these middle of the pack ones, because sometimes that's a great bearish reversal type bar. So, and you would think we're probably headed back down here, but look how flat the EMA's gotten now, and look at all those bars stacked up. Just wait and see what happens. And when it breaks lower and fails and turns up and goes out the other side, I like going long there. And now you got to be thinking, hey, we may be going back to the top side. But we come up here and we find resistance right there. Now we got a triple top, and you get that little break higher that fails, and that's kind of a reversal bar. It didn't quite close on its low, but it was close enough that you could go short there. Um, quick, easy scalp. Again, nothing more than a scalp, and it reverses. And it's really hard to reverse that many times in a row. But if you're paying attention here, that's a breakout pullback long. And look at that big bullish bar that bounces off and closes up above the midline there. So I'm okay with going long right there. Again, it is kind of risky. It's a little high. It's aggressive. Uh, but now you're thinking, hey, we're probably headed back to the highs. And off it goes. Exactly. And look where it's finding resistance. Um, There's actually a short right there you could have taken. I don't know if I'd go short there with everything still working high. It is a second entry, but there's a lot of overlap right there. It would have worked. Um, I'll give that one a green one too. Um, didn't mean to grab that line. And then you can see it gave you another setup right here, which is like your double test. It's after 2 o'clock now. Actually, this one may have been after 2, and that may be why I didn't. Yeah, see, that's 4:30. I wouldn't. That's 2:30. I wouldn't 14:20 something. I wouldn't take that trade, but it worked, and it does fit our rules other than the time factor. So yeah, just a trading range kind of day. And look, we've even broken higher now, and don't have it on here, but I'm sure there's a trend line down here. See how it fits like that. Yeah. So yeah, you got a nice trend line down here. Another trend channel working higher. So we may be headed up in here somewhere. We may be just testing the overnight highs, which you see we haven't quite got there yet. My guess is you'll find some prices will find some resistance there. But yeah, just a two-tiered trading range today, real straightforward. Um, I would have been paying attention to this two-tiered channel working down, and I found this drawing these first few swings off the lows and dragging it up. Obviously it fits here, but you would have already had a break, and it could be that this was the channel working down like so, and we did get the break and a couple of legs to a new low. So, but it doesn't really matter. It works either way, and you hear me talk about it a lot. You don't have to be perfect, but you got to be close, and this is close enough. And I like the way it fits here, to be honest with you. So that's the reason I drew it that way. But in the end, you were better off playing the range and just being aware of this, so when it came back up here, you didn't get trapped long right there. Um, that's really all that helped you with. So, but that's about all there is for today. I'm not gonna. Actually, I want to show one other thing. I'm gonna pause it. Okay, a trader I know sent me this, and he actually is having a plaque made out of this and gonna put it on his wall. But when I saw it, I thought, man, this is just this just puts it all right here in black and white, literally in black and white. And I mean, this is what it's all about. This is why amateur traders lose, because they get greedy and buy, and then they get scared and they sell. And where they're selling, they should be buying, and where they're buying, they should be selling. And I talked about this. I think I talked about this yesterday. Um, but really, that's what a trading chart is. It's just a chart that shows the combined fear and greed of all traders combined. And so the idea of what you have to be able to learn to do is not buy up here, but sell up here, and not sell down here, but buy up here. And this kind of just gives you a little graphic in black and white that tells you what's happening. And again, it's, people start buying and they buy high, and they start selling and they sell low. And you've got to condition yourself not to be that way. You've got to control that mental pull to buy when everything's going up and sell when everything's going down. And don't take that the wrong way. If the market's steadily trending up, you need to be thinking about buying, but you don't buy the highs. You wait and buy the lows on the corrections. And so this is just was a really neat chart, and I like it. And I asked him if I could show it in the video today, and he gave me permission to show it. And but it makes a lot of sense. And you don't want to be um, you don't want to be the one that buys high and sells low and gets caught up with the herd mentality, so to speak. Um, you want to be the smart trader, the ones that trade smartly, and they're looking to buy low when prices are, it works the same in real estate. I can, you know, when you got a real estate bubble going on, everybody wants to buy, and they're buying at the highest prices. Happened back in 2008. Um, they'd loan money to anybody, and they'd loan 125 and 150% value of properties, and people would buy thinking that, hey, I'll sell in a year or so when it goes up, and then suddenly it quit going up. And but that was the time to be selling. Sell out at the high, and then wait till the crash. And when the crash came, nobody wanted to buy anything, and everything was at fire sale prices, and that's when you should have been buying. That's when you go, that's when you go out and you buy the properties on the cheap, because eventually they'll come back up again, and they did. And maybe not everywhere, but most places property values have, recovered. So the markets have recovered. So it's no different. It's the same thing in, real estate as it is in the markets. And, I do a little bit of both, and they really work well together, and they're very similar. And so, yeah, I just wanted to show this. I just thought it was interesting, but he sent it to me, and I got, kind of hit the point, and I thought, hey, it just really shows it to you in black and white, so I thought I'd share it with y'all today. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for the day. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. I hope the audio's turned out well on this one. If it didn't, I apologize, and I'll keep working on it. But, I tested it a few times, and everything seemed okay, so I'm hoping that it's going to be okay today. But we'll be not sure if I'll do one tomorrow. If it's raining here, which it's supposed to rain all week, and it's kind of been raining all week, I may come in and do a Friday, or I may do a Friday. I'll be here trading Friday morning, but I may hang around and do a video. And if it's not raining, I'll probably leave early and probably go play golf in the afternoon. So, but anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for today. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.